From secret mobs you didn't know existed to a way to kill the enderdragon with only one arrow, these are 31 Minecraft secrets that almost nobody knows. First up, did you know that Bane of Arthropods actually has another use besides just dealing more damage to spiders and a few other mobs? Whoa, it's not completely trash? Well, don't get ahead of yourself there, but when you use Bane of Arthropods, you can actually see on the mob that it also gives them slowness 4. Pretty cool. But don't worry, because these get actually crazy. Another super useful secret up next though, because endermen are some of the most difficult mobs to fight, especially if you're low on health. I mean, I guess just don't look at them like a dumbass, but if you can't avoid the fight, then just simply place a boat. It's super easy to trick them into it, and they won't be able to damage you once trapped. Of course, they can't teleport away either. Going from the end to the nether though, you might just run across some magma blocks. Get it? Like run across? Well, did you know that the Frostwalker boots have another use case in this scenario? We all love Frostwalker boots. Getting across the overworld is so much easier, but they actually stop all magma block damage too, so you can run across the nether without worrying. Wait, no! If you want to mess with your friends though, there's a way to get a super cool pattern on a rabbit that nobody really knows. We all know the name tag tricks to make mobs go upside down, sheep turn to rainbow, and all of that cool stuff. But if you have a name tag and name it Toast, you get this cool pattern on a rabbit that can't spawn naturally in the game. Pretty cool. Well, even cooler though is a way to get a killer rabbit in the game. I mean, rabbits are normally harmless, right? Well, not in this case. If you load into a world and type the command /summon Minecraft rabbit type 99, you will spawn in a secret killer rabbit in game. Pretty crazy. The killer rabbit used to actually be in the game with a 1 in 10,000 spawn rate, but Mojang decided to remove it because it was too dangerous, and now it's only let in the game if you type the secret spawn command. Another cool secret is a unique way to draft your sponges. Simply put those fellas in a furnace with a lava bucket, and you'll not only get dry sponges back, but also a water bucket instead of a lava bucket. But with that water bucket, even if you clutch falling into a desert temple, you might still hit the pressure plate. We all know this is the worst feeling, and it's just kind of game over. Well, not quite, because with number 7, you can actually save yourself as long as you have quick reaction time. If you quickly break the pressure plate and the block underneath, okay. Not quick enough. If you super quickly break the pressure plate and the block and place a water bucket, it'll actually stop the TNT from being able to hit you, and you'll survive the deadly explosion. This one isn't deadly by any means, but it's sure interesting. Because you see, there's one item that before 1.20, nobody really knew existed. And now it doesn't exist at all because Mojang got rid of it in the update. So we all know you can wear pumpkins on your head. And from the pumpkins, you can craft them into jack-o'-lanterns, which you cannot wear on your head. Well, not anymore. But there was actually a bug to be able to do so before the 1.20 update. The glitch only existed actually in 1.19.4, but it was pretty cool while it lasted. You could put a jack-o'-lantern on an armor stand, wear it on your head, and even enchant it with enchantments like Curse of Binding. All of these sadly though were patched in 1.20. Maybe if enough of you subscribe, they'll bring it back. But for number 9, I can bet almost none of you know about this Minecraft secret. Everybody knows that axes anytime after 1.8.9 are better for PvP than swords are. But did you know that if you enchant one with efficiency, it's better for PvP? Like better than it normally is. While not sprinting, if you use an efficiency enchanted axe, it gives you a better chance to break someone's shield defense. Actually such a random feature, but pretty cool. And it might just come in clutch. And you know how we talked about fighting endermen in boats? Well, there's another way you can raise your odds of winning a fight against them. Because it turns out if you need to regen health or just get your bearings straight, if you start a staring contest with an enderman, I know it sounds backwards and not what you should do, but they actually get completely frozen until you look away from them again. Then they come to attack you. But at least you get a bit of health back. While in the end though, like I told you, there's actually a way to kill the enderdragon in less than 30 seconds and with only one arrow. But it's super tough. Basically, the closer a player is to the center of the dragon when hit by it, the further they get knocked back, which we can actually use to our advantage in this case. There's only 1 or 2 players that have ever been able to use this strategy, but it's super cool. Another key thing we have to know to understand this Minecraft secret is that bows deal damage proportional to their speed that they're traveling. So the faster an arrow moves, the more damage it does. The arrow doesn't actually have a damage cap like you may think. It's just a matter of how fast you can make an arrow move in Minecraft. Using a strategy with an ender pearl and getting as close to the dragon's center point as possible and then shooting an arrow, it can actually kill the dragon with just one shot. It's nearly impossible to get the timing and everything else right, but it's still a cool feature nonetheless. But something you can actually use is a way to turn your boat into an actual tank that would shoot your friends, but you'll stay safe. If you manage to get a guardian into the back seat of your boat, it'll shoot any other players nearby, but it'll completely ignore you in the front seat. Well, until you hop out of the boat, then yeah, you're screwed. At 13 though, there was actually a glitch in 1.19.2 where you could jump off some of the highest mountains and take literally no fall damage. How? Well, it was all just a matter of timing. While falling, you had to get ready to crouch the millisecond you hit the ground. For some reason, this canceled out all the fall damage. But Mojang, of course, had to patch this in 1.20, and now if you try it, I mean, yeah, it just doesn't work. What does work, though, is this secret way to get minecarts to travel infinitely without using power rails at all. And all you gotta do is place a boat inside of them. It's super slow, but if you can't afford to craft some powered rails, you deserve this suffering. But I don't blame you if you didn't know about number 15. It's a secret mob that isn't in the game at all unless you use a spawn command. Simply do summon Minecraft Illusioner, and it spawns this super cool but deadly mob. My man's actually looks like he has nighttime pajamas on though. Assuming your friends don't know this command, you could easily troll them saying you made a whole new mob, because like I said, nobody really knows about this bloke. Also, at number 16 is something small that you probably have missed. Close up, soul sand looks normal, and it just looks like some dirt with some weird patterns on it. But if you zoom out a bit and take a closer look, you can actually see it's made up of a bunch of screaming faces, presumably souls that have been lost in the sand. Pretty weird, right? Even weirder is how evokers are racist. Okay, I know you're probably thinking that was just a funny transition to number 17, but I'm so serious. Somehow this is true. If you have a pen of blue sheep for some reason and there happens to be an evoker nearby, the evoker will not let the sheep stay blue. He's actually a professional hater of blue sheep. Instead, the evoker just turns them red and moves on with his day. No blue wool for you, I suppose. We all know dispensers can't place blocks, but they actually can. In certain situations, like spawning an iron golem or spawning the wither, dispensers can actually place blocks. Not sure if this was an oversight on Mojang's part or intentional, but it could be actually pretty useful if you wanted to get away from the wither and spawn it in from a remote location. But a super cool secret is with the sculk sensors. A lot of people haven't learned all about them yet and don't know you can actually make reactive floors. If you place a whole ton of sculk sensors and then some redstone lamps, it actually reacts to you walking and even throwing things like snowballs at it. Coming up at number 20 though, this one surprised me. If you have a name tag and put it on a slime, you might wonder what happens when the slime dies. Well, it actually splits the name tag to all of the tiny slimes, so you just multiply how many named slime you have. Now you can go storm your friend's house with 1,000 slimes named Dinnerbone and really confuse people. If you're in a server though that has phantom spawns disabled, you can actually still get phantom membranes if you know this secret. This secret is that cats actually will bring you gifts while you're sleeping, stuff like fish and other random items. This though is super useful because there's actually a 3% chance that your pet cat brings you a phantom membrane, so you can still get them in a server where phantoms don't spawn. Pretty dope. Another fun cat fact is that they're just as obnoxious as they can be in real life, because they will literally seek out the nearest chest and sit right on top of it. That's right, that makes it impossible to open. Cat genocide is the only option. But after committing mass war crimes, you might have some wet sponges. That makes sense. Anyways though, you can simply bring them to the nether and just place them down. They'll dry out and you can easily reharvest your freshly dried sponges. Solid little trick. Now, cauldrons have been in the game for a while now, and people love them for looks, but nobody seems to know they actually have a useful way to use them. I know, right? Crazy. But if you have a piece of leather armor that's dyed a color, but you want to change that color, you can actually do so with a cauldron. Wash it off with clean water and re-dye it with dyed cauldron water. Coming up on 25 though, this is one that I for real guarantee you didn't know about. I will actually be amazed if you did, because this secret is hidden in the home screen of Minecraft. This can only happen on Java and has a 0.01% chance of actually happening, which means if you played Minecraft for 10,000 days in a row and looked at the home screen each day, you could only expect to see it happen one time. 10,000 days, by the way, is 27 years of Minecraft. So what is this, I'm sure you're wondering? It is the home screen reading Minecraft and not Minecraft like it normally does. You could have seen it already, but you would probably not even notice. It's super subtle, but pretty weird. Secret number 26 is how the end crystals, when added, were absolutely broken. You could use them in PvP and absolutely destroy another player's health. But unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you use them, players can now block end crystal explosions with a shield and take no damage, making end crystals basically useless, just like you. I'm joking. Like you need to do desperately though, jobless villagers actually try their very best to get a job. Villagers aren't known for being geniuses, but if a job awaits them, they can do some pretty crazy tasks. If an unemployed villager is within 32 blocks of getting a job, they will do some crazy mazes just to get one. They're grinders for real. Although villagers are kind of stupid, they do better at the maze in this situation than I would, I'm not gonna lie. Though I've been playing Minecraft since I was like 8 years old, this one was a big surprise to me. If you put on a zombie head in a crowd of zombies, it makes you 50% less noticeable to them, so you're 50% safer around them. They still will attack you if you get too close, but at least you can join in on the zombie family reunion now. Now, we all know clutching in the nether is tough because, well, there's no water buckets. This causes players to revert to using boats most of the time to go off big cliffs, but there's actually a lot better method. A lot of players don't know that you can actually still place powdered snow buckets whilst in the nether. Super cool looking clutch, especially compared to riding boats around. At 31, I'll explain the rarest block now in the game after 1.20. But first at number 30, there's a cool way to go AFK with complete safety knowing you won't be killed by a mob. All you need to make this work is a composter with a trapdoor on top for a lid. Glitch yourself inside just like this and you're gonna be completely safe from all the mobs around. Finally, don't have to worry about dying while AFK. Wait, what? For 31 though, this is the new rarest block in the game after the 1.20 update. First, we have to understand the use of brushes on the suspicious blocks. You can uncover tons of cool stuff, but the one we want to focus on is the pottery sherd. Desert wells are the best place to uncover sherds from suspicious blocks, giving you a 25% chance of uncovering them. But the issue with this is that each desert well that you find in your world only comes with 2 suspicious sand. So if you do the math, you have a 50% chance of getting 1 sherd from each desert well, meaning it takes 2 desert wells on average to get 1 shirt. Stick with me. Desert wells also only spawn 1 in 1,000 chunks, so you start to see how difficult this becomes. To get 4 arms up pottery shirts, you would need to go to an average of 8 desert wells. Once again, spawning 1 in 1,000 chunks to craft the rarest block in the game, which is this pot with the arms up design. If you did make it here, make sure you click a video on screen and subscribe. I'll see you later.